Greetings all, this is Precious, the new Jamaican, and welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to spend a little bit part of your day with me. So I thank you and I send you positive ashe. Now, before we go any further though, I do want you to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share this video. Now, in my last video about TRN, a tax registration number, I mentioned that I would do some content on how I got a Jamaican bank account without actually having a TRN number, which is a requirement. I should also note that even if you do have a tax registration number, you will have to follow the guidelines that I'm going to provide for you in this video. So, let's bank Jamaican style. Here's what you're going to do. Now, when it comes to banking in Jamaica, getting a bank account in Jamaica, the process is totally different than that of the process of getting a bank account in the States. I should also mention that there are many types of banks in Jamaica, top tier banks to not so top tier banks. But as a non-Jamaican or an expat, a non-resident, you're going to need to deal with top tier banks. So that's what we're going to deal with in this video. So there are many types of banks, many top tier banks on the island. As I mentioned, just off the top of my head, we have JNCB, JN Bank, Sagicor Bank, Scotia Bank, CIBC, and many others. And that's just to name a few. Not all banks on the island have identical requirements, but they are pretty much the same. I should also mention that often banks will request certified copies of something, but if you have the original document or item, that's moot, so you don't have to worry about that. So here are the things that you're going to need. One, you're going to need 2 official, valid, current picture IDs, driver's license, state ID. One of them must be a passport. 2, you're going to need 2 recent passport photos. They normally just say photos, but they mean passport photos. 3, you're going to need certified copies of your social security number or your national identification card. But again, if you bring in the actual card, you don't need to get anything certified. They also say that if you use your passport, then your social security card isn't necessary. I did bring them my social security card as well. They did in fact take it. 4, you're going to need proof of address. They usually mean that in the form of a utility bill. Now, if the utility bill is not in your name, say it's in the name of your spouse, you're then going to need to provide them a copy of your marriage license. I honestly don't think that we did this, but it did not appear to be an issue, but you better bring that just in case they do press that issue. 5, you're going to need 2 or 3 refuees, or what we would call references. Now, this could be a JP, a doctor, a minister, a principal, or a school, a police officer. The refuees must be Jamaicans, not refugees from your country of origin. So these have to be Jamaican citizens, Jamaican police officer, Jamaican principal, so forth and so on. This person should know you for at least 2 years. They're going to provide you a reference. Now, when we got our bank account, they requested that our references knew us for 10 years. Yeah, 10. Moving on. Additionally, if you are a non-Jamaican and a non-resident, you're going to have to provide a certified copy of your birth certificate as well as proof of employment. Now, that does not mean that you need to bring in pay stubs or anything. What they're asking for is a letter from your employer on company letterhead stating that you are an employee there for how long? Just proof of employment. And finally, your minimum balance. Now, this can vary depending on the bank, the type of account you are opening it up with, and the currency you are using to open up your account. So, say for example, NCB. If you're going to open up a savings account using Jamaican dollars with NCB, your minimum balance is going to be 2,000 Jamaican dollars. If you are going to open up a checking account, your minimum balance is going to be 5,000 Jamaican dollars. But if you are going to be using foreign currency, i.e. US dollars or euros, so forth and so on, the units must be in 100 increments. So that means $100, 100 euros, 100 pounds, so forth and so on. So think about right now, the exchange rate for one US dollar to one Jamaican dollars is like one US dollar for 146, 147 Jamaican dollars. So that's really small. So you do the math, it's a little bit less for Canadian dollars, a little bit more for the euro, kind of significantly more for the pound. Also, as another aside, what you might want to consider if you have not completely moved to the island and you still are living in your country of origin and you have opened up a Jamaican bank account, it would be a good idea to sometimes wire money into your Jamaican bank account from your country of origin when the rates are really good, so you can get a very good exchange rate on that. So that's it. Whew, it's a lot, right? That's how you open up a Jamaican bank account. So I'm sure you're wondering, why do they need all of this? I mean, wow. There's one answer to that question. Credit. There is no real credit system there in the island. At least not yet. It is definitely on the way. There are people who are, getting mortgages for homes or financing vehicles. Heck, there are even people who are doing rent to own with household items and electronics. But as far as it being the most important part of the society there in Jamaica, it's just not a thing. I mean, no one's ever going to ask you what your credit score is. But so this is their way of verifying that you are a viable person to bank at their institution. This is how it's done. Now, as soon as the credit system becomes normalized there and become really ingrained into the society, until that happens, this is what it's going to take to get a bank account and do many other things in the island as far as business is concerned. One last important note before we end this. Remember when I mentioned top tier banks? Here's the reason why you need to bank at a top tier bank. You cannot wire funds into a lower tier bank. And that even is from MoneyGram or Western Union. They will wire funds into a bank, but it needs to be a top tier bank because other banks don't even allow that to happen. So if you need to wire money to a family member or friend, they have a bank account, but it's not, say, a top tier bank, Scotia or ACB or whatnot. It's just not going to happen. And that really kind of sucks because the thing is, if you wire into a bank account from, say, MoneyGram or Western Union, the rates are either very low or non-existent. So it kind of sucks. As I mentioned earlier, if the exchange rate is very high, it would be nice to sometimes wire money into your own personal Jamaican bank account just to get a really good rate. So that's another reason why you need to use a top tier bank. The last reason that I can think of why you need to use a top tier bank is if you are getting Social Security benefits, or if you plan to get Social Security benefits. As it stands right now, the Social Security Administration will deposit your benefits into a Jamaican bank account, but only if it is NCB. That may change in the future, but I can guarantee you if it does indeed change, it's still going to be a top tier bank that they will directly deposit your benefits into. I don't know why that is right now, but that's the case. NCB is the only bank that the Social Security Administration will deposit your benefits into. So keep that in mind and consider that when you are opening up a Jamaican bank account. So here's your recap. In order to open up a Jamaican bank account, you are going to need to provide your passport and driver's license or state ID, your social security card or national ID card, 2 passport photos, a utility bill, Jamaican references, 2, sometimes 3, a certified copy of your birth certificate. You're going to need your proof of employment and your minimum balance. Get all of those things together and you will be ready to bank Jamaican style. Okay, good people, that is going to do it for this video. I know that was a lot to take in, so I recommend you review this video again. And when you are ready to open up your Jamaican bank account, you will decide on the bank of your choice, review their website, give them a call and find out exactly what their requirements are. I trust that this video was not only informative, but an interesting introduction to banking Jamaican style. And I would encourage you to start this process as soon as you are ready. With that said, I send much thanks to you, much love to you, and much peace to you. And as always, stay conscious and stay connected. Peace.